So today we are here with Jim Mcshea, and he is an artist, and right now he's living in Tuckerton, but he's attached to Long Beach Island, Barnegat Light especially.
Yes, I spent many years. I actually met my wife in Barnegat Light, and it was really a wonderful, enchanting experience. There's something magical about Barnegat Light, and I still go there quite often, and I still have that connection. Maybe I'm destined to have a house sometime in Barnegat Light. Who knows? But I would sure like to keep that connection.
So that's how Jim and I met. I had North End Trilogy in Barnegat Light next to the deli, and Jim came in and chatted me up, and I invited him to be part of.
That's not right, Valerie. You actually came upon me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You purchased a painting of mine.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Yes, that's right. I went to the Long Beach Island Foundation of Arts and Sciences, and I don't know what show it was.
It was a small works trial. It was that summer show that I don't know if they still have it.
My work was in it too.
Yes, it was.
That's why I went, and I was just enthralled with one of Jim's paintings. So I bought it, and then I called him up, right?
No, you didn't. I actually came into the gallery, and I saw it on your table there.
Oh.
And that's why I wanted to know who bought it. And you said, I bought it. And, I was like, I thought that was destiny. I thought, we were going to have a relationship.
Yeah.
And we did.
And so I never called you?
No, you never called me.
I know I was going to call you.
Oh, yeah. Well,
but I called you with my mind.
But, it was very kind of you to do that. And you really have helped my career over the past 10 years.
And what painting was that?
It was how's it going?
Something about trees. No?
It says, oh, God. Give me a second.
Okay.
If we all painted trees like Bob Ross, we would be extremely happy. Right. And as it turns out, he's so popular right now. It's kind of like really funny, But
even though he's deceased, right?
Yes, he did die a couple of years ago. But it's funny because his career has really taken off. And I was doing it kind of in jest, because with a little sarcasm. That's one of the things about my word paintings is that they're a little sarcastic, and I find them. I don't know, in my word paintings, the way I think is that if the word paintings could talk, that's what I would want. The statement there. Sometimes I'm a little, how do I put it? I'm a little shy, and I say things in my word paintings that I wouldn't ordinarily say, and I like let the paintings talk for themselves. And Valerie was really intrigued by the work, and I found that people were generally interested in it, and it was a good experience. I had a lot of fun at Valerie's gallery over the years. And, I hope one day that she opens again because I still consider her my gallery dealer.
How about that? Okay, so what else, Jim?
Well, I graduated from Tyler School of Art in Pennsylvania.
In Philadelphia, right?
Part of Temple University.
Right.
It was one of the top schools in the country. I had a good time there. Then I went to Yale School of Art and got my master's degree from there. And it was really a good experience to be there because you had the most competitive artists, young artists there, plus you had a great faculty that I worked with. It's funny, I learned something that was really important, to be really open-minded about paintings, and find, things that, all kinds of work. Everybody was doing all kinds of work there, and we were all supportive, and it was encouraging. At the time I was an abstract painter, and I was doing this work that's similar to this. I did this painting basically in 1989. I was interested in at the time. I got to this point where I thought that I was interested in floating balls in fields. And, I had a real misunderstanding of time, space, but I thought I was really doing something original. And as it turns out, I was doing something original, but I was lucky enough because the faculty was really supportive of me there, and they sort of set me up in a gallery in New York and in Boston, and I was showing there. It happened all rather quickly. I started, by the time I was in a new talent show, and I sold that show out and made $20,000 in 1 week. At that time, the biggest mistake I had was that I thought it would continue, and but it was a good experience. I had 2 solo shows in New York, and And, circumstances, I was living in New York in the time. It was like 1995, 97. And I had to leave New York because my journey took me back to where I lived. I was really lucky to have I had no money. I was broke at the time. And I had a friend who introduced me to a woman named Dottie Van and Bernie Van. They're legends in the island. I don't know if you know them, but they were legends. They helped a lot of people. They have a beautiful house in Surf City. It's kind of an old-fashioned beach kind of house. It's rather large. You probably have seen it. It's right on the boulevard. She used to be a hairstylist there. They took a liking to me, and they sort of, they made a real special time for me there. And I was lucky enough, I was working at Wawa at the time. I was also teaching at Atlantic Community College in Stockton. But, I was making my living working at Wawa, but just barely. And I met my wife there, and she said it was love at first sight, it took me a while to sort of figure that out. But, I'm very happily married. I have 2 children, and I have a granddaughter named Ava. My wife's name is Pauline. We've been here in this apartment for 27 years, this painting sort of led to that. I think in some ways I was finding through time, space, my love of my life. I believe in romance, and I believe in that. And, there were a few visions, but I was happy to meet my wife.
That's good.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. I did this lighthouse about 10 years ago. At the time, I was, how do I put it? I find that I think everybody in this area that's an artist has painted the Barnegat Light at some time. And, I thought it was a really kind of quirky sort of like idea to do it, because everybody's done it. And I tried to do it in a way that, not everybody did it. And, it was a contemporary sort of piece, and I think in some ways I captured it in some ways. I really, I always prided myself that I can draw. Some people, when being an abstract artist, they don't necessarily think you can draw. But I can draw realistically. But that one was sort of an effort to sort of like capture Long Beach Island, capture the Barnegat Light, and be one of the artists in the local arena. I've also I shouldn't point. I'm sorry. I've been doing nocturnes of the lighthouse, and I felt that it's a beacon of light. In the dark times. I don't know if anybody's been to the lighthouse at night. I definitely recommend you going to the lighthouse at night. It's kind of like a real quiet, kind of special place at night, and I tried to capture that in the piece. Lately, I've been collaborating with a young artist, writer. Her name is Sarah Choi, and she's a gifted writer. And we sort of like have been putting things side by side, her writing and mine, and they sort of have a dialogue together. That's what I've been working on. I think I'm somewhat successful with it. I've been giving them to people, that special people in my life, and I find the response has been overwhelmingly good. I don't necessarily know if I want to sell them. I think the idea of giving them as gifts is a good idea. Yeah. What's next? Okay. That one, I've always been interested in geometry. Geometry is something that's central to my work. I feel that, geometry is what makes us orient ourselves to the world. I find that... I was interested in how things, events and spaces interact with each other. I also, one thing's consistent in a lot of my abstract work is that I put them on white fields, all the colors on white fields. And, somehow I feel that, that space and that the space sort of floats, that, you float in between the space of the forms versus the white fields. That's always been an idea that I've been interested in. This one, all right. This piece here, people might think it's got a figurative reference, and they're right. It's sort of like my idea of a poetic bird. I painted it on this sort of dark background with sort of moody light, and if you look carefully at it, you have there's a bird-like form in it.
Do you want to talk about the material you used for that?
Yeah, sure. At the time I was interested in That's paint. It takes a long time for it to dry, but I was fascinated with the way tar mixes in with paint. The only drawback is it creates some wonderful atmospheric depth. The only problem is it takes a long time for it to dry. And it does eventually dry.
And then what about the blocks of wood?
The blocks of wood were found pieces of wood that was very important that I had the dialogue between the block of wood and the actual form itself. You know, it was kind of like a found object. You know, I put it together. I was intrigued by the forms of the wood versus the painted object.
Right.
So that they're more like objects rather than paintings.
And there are 3 blocks there?
There's 2 blocks there.
Okay.
Okay, this is one of my happier pieces. It was painted during the summer about 6 years ago. I probably just came from the beach, and my interpretation of that sunshine of Barnegat Light, the sunshine of Long Beach Island, I think it does capture that. I think Valerie showed this one actually.
Yes, I did.
Yes, this was painted rather quickly, and. As everybody knows, there's certain kind of anybody in the area knows that there's certain colors that the LBI artists use, and I think in some ways those LBI colors are really obvious there. And if you haven't been to Long Beach Island, you have to really see it's a quite colorful place. Both in the way the houses are painted, the way things are decorated. Okay. Over the last 10 years, I've been interested, and we were talking a little bit about the word paintings. I've made quotes of certain things that I thought were pertinent. You know, some of them were really humorous. Some of them were kind of edgy. Some of them were, spiritual. But, it was kind of like the aesthetic that I had. And I found that a real good voice for me. I used to I have hundreds of these things. I am interested in selling them rather cheap. I've been dabbling with making them commercially viable. But I haven't really come up with an idea to really do that. I've been making note cards and sending them to people. Certain kinds of quotes that I have that I say, or things I've heard, and I find the response. I have get well cards, certain kind of things. If you need spiritual uplifting, and I've actually been sending a few that are sort of edgy. I send some to Valerie every now and then, are a little edgy. There's certain audiences that have that. Every card is not. There's a different audience for every card. Do you want me to get in front of that? No. This is one of my largest paintings. What I really was interested in was kind of a meditative space, where you can actually get involved and really sink into the painting and go ponder things. I like to think I'm a spiritual person, but who knows? But I do meditate every day. Lately I've been going to a church in the church I'm involved with between 6 and 7 every day. I belong to the United Methodist group, and there's a small group of us that pray for the last couple of months every day between 6 and 7 in the morning. And at first I thought it was kind of hokey, getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning, going to church, and but I have to believe, it's crazy, but I'm getting a lot out of it. It sort of grounds me for the whole day, and we're going to continue it. So I'm turning into quite a morning person.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great.
Okay, and I would like to take this opportunity. It's been a great experience, and I'd like to thank Long Beach Island Television for the opportunity, and Lisa and Valerie for this nice experience. I've been I've been a little nervous, but I'm trying to be very conversant, and it's been a great experience talking about my work.
Good. So now I just want to have one question. That other art group that you're involved with through Tuckerton?
Yes, it's called the Art Chat. And it's where local artists get together and every 2 weeks on a Tuesday, every other week. And we discuss work, our own work. We bring a piece of work in every time we meet. And we discuss it for a couple minutes. And it's really a good dialogue to get involved with because, it gives you a chance to talk about your work. That's something I've had a real hard time over the years with, relating, how I feel and what I was involved with. For those that are interested, it's called Art Chat, and you can call the Tuckerton Library. I don't have the number handy, but look up the Tuckerton Library, and I'm sure, I'm sure we want to grow. Okay.
Okay, thanks so much, Jim.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. We'll do it this way. Okay. Thank you, Lisa. A shout out to my.
Are you filming?
Go ahead.
I'd like to give a shout out to the Walmart in Little Lake Harbor. That's where I work. I make my livelihood. I have a lot of friends here. A lot of them are probably going to see this, and I would like to just give a shout out. You know, that they need to hear that. You know, I'm really thinking about them.
Okay. Thank you, Jim.
Yeah. Thank you.